This is Chiming In. Tarryn Aiken, the best rugby league player, female rugby league player in the universe. Welcome to Chiming In.
Thanks for having me.
Soon after your premiership win in 2019, Dad passed away. And then soon after that, your brother tragically passed away.
I think you're kind of on top of the world and then your whole life sort of flips upside down, and like I lost half my family within 3 weeks.
Congratulations on the recent award, the Golden Boot Award, which basically heralds you as number one on the planet. You must be very happy and excited to receive that.
Yeah, for sure. It was really humbling, and yeah, it was great to receive the award. Obviously, it was a good pack champs and a great year to be a part of. So yeah, it was just a good way to finish as well.
Well, I think you're amazing. I think people will be inspired by your story. So congratulations on that.
Thanks.
Tarryn Aiken, the best rugby league player, female rugby league player in the universe. Welcome to Chiming In.
Thanks for having me.
Congratulations on the recent award, the Golden Boot Award, which basically heralds you as number one on the planet. You must be very happy and excited to receive that.
Yeah, for sure. It was really humbling, and yeah, it was great to receive the award. Obviously, it was a good pack champs and a great year to be a part of. So yeah, it was just a good way to finish as well.
So that's selected by an independent panel of judges from a variety of countries that watch the representative fixtures, and obviously you had an outstanding representative season. How did you first learn that you were going to be the recipient of that award?
Strangey actually gave me a call because they were doing the presentation in Sydney. So
that's John Strange.
Yeah. Strangey called me, and then Brad Donald as well called me. So they both let me know, which is really cool phone calls.
So what was your first reaction when you heard that? Were you surprised?
Yeah, definitely. I think there was lots of people that could have won the award, like Tamika and Shinamata. They all had unreal seasons as well. So yeah, it was really exciting.
And there's obviously a presentation, I think, in front of the international committee and the speeches and all that. And I think Isaiah Yeo got the male recipient of the Golden Boot. What was that day like for you?
Yeah, it was a really cool day. I think a bit surreal, but it probably didn't really sink in until a little bit afterwards. But yeah, it was really good. The trophy's unreal. I think Jess is still waiting for her trophy from a few years ago. So it was a really good day. Good morning over.
So you're actually given a golden boot.
Yeah. It's a big golden boot trophy. It's heavy as. It's like sculpted as a boot. Yeah.
And where is it today?
It's at home back in Tweed.
You would
with my mum.
You'd nearly have to build a trophy cabinet for yourself back home, wouldn't you? I mean, 2024, you won the premiership with the Roosters. You won State of Origin. You picked up the Karen Murphy medal for Player of the Match, which is the equivalent of the Clive Churchill medal. And now the Golden Boot. Not a bad season.
Yeah, it was a pretty good year, wasn't it?
Taz, take us back to the beginning. At what age did you get involved with rugby league? And is there a story behind the day you actually went to register?
Yeah, there is a little bit. I think I was 5. I think I started in under 6s. So growing up, like all my cousins, I had heaps of cousins, and my brothers, they all played, and obviously my dad and my uncle played footy. So I was just surrounded by it growing up. And I remember I was on the way to my brother's registration day at Wyong, and I just asked my mum if I could play, and she was like, no, like wasn't having a bar of it. And she made me ring my dad, and he was like, oh yeah, you can play. And then she was filthy, she rang him and was like, what do you mean? Why'd you say yes? And then he was like, oh, I didn't say yes. Anyways, and eventually she gave in and let me sign up. I don't think they thought I'd last long, but yeah, ended up playing my whole juniors.
Did you have a team that you followed as a little girl?
Yeah. I followed the Storm mainly growing up. So yeah, I loved how Billy Slater and Cooper Cronk played, and Cameron Smith too. So they were my favourite team growing up that I really supported.
So you were born in Gosford and grew up on the Central Coast before making your way up to Tweed Heads.
Yeah.
Strangely, you play for Queensland.
Yeah.
How's that work?
Yeah, I get this a bit. born in Gosford. I lived in the Central Coast till I was 7 and then moved up to Tweed. And then, a few different reasons, I guess, why I play for Queensland. All my sport, really from a young age, I went through the Queensland pathways, like touch, nippers, all that was sort of the Queensland pathways. I think in Northern Rivers, there's not many pathways through into New South Wales teams. So I was more like going through Gold Coast and Brisbane into teams. So I was always in the Queensland pathway. And then as well, my mum was from North Queensland and her whole side of the family's from North Queensland. And then my dad's is the Central Coast. So I think a bit of family rivalry as well. Mum was the only Queenslander with my older brother. So I jumped on their bandwagon on State of Origin nights. And I spent a lot of time up in far North Queensland as well growing up. So I think a few sort of things just led me to always supporting Queensland and then wanting to play for them too.
So there's a famous, and I mean famous, rugby league player, a former player, who was born and bred in Maxville, New South Wales, and became one of Queensland's greatest ever players, Greg Inglis. Have you ever had anything to do with Greg? Yeah,
funnily enough, he actually, it was COVID at the time when I debuted, but he did our jersey presentation over a Zoom call, which was, it was pretty funny, but it was really cool at the time. And he's now actually our assistant coach for the upcoming season.
So they got New South Wales' greatest renegade male player to present the future of Queensland Rugby League, now the greatest player or one of the greatest players to present the jumper. Was that organised?
No, definitely not. I think I don't think many people really knew at the time I was born in New South Wales. So, yeah.
So you got a clear conscience. You're okay with it all?
Yeah. I'm sweet.
Do any of the girls wind you up about it?
Oh yeah, all the Roosters girls do because most of them are New South Wales. So it was pretty funny. Like no one ever spoke about it a few years ago, and now I cop it all the time. Especially with Strangey coaching New South Wales now too, and all the girls they're into me all the time, especially during Origin season. But, yeah, they give it to me.
So while it's fresh in our minds, Vegas, which kicked off the NRL season recently. And you went over with the Gillaroos to play against Great Britain in one of the 4 games on the big stage over there. What was it like?
Yeah, it was unreal. The whole week was really exciting. I think we've probably never had sort of that reception before as a women's game. So I think like Fremont Street a couple nights before, that was packed out. So I think everyone got really excited for the game from that point onwards, and to be able to play in Vegas, and I think we're the first women's teams to be able to actually play on Allegiant Stadium. So yeah, it was all really cool. The build up was amazing, like the whole atmosphere in Vegas, like because so many people traveled over there as well for to watch the games. Like everyone sort of knew who we were, which you'd never really had that reception before as well, like just walking through the streets. So yeah, the whole trip was crazy. And then we got a really good result too, obviously.
So the scoreline was lopsided.
Yeah.
What was the score? 90?
Yeah, I think it was 90
to 6 or 90 to
something like that.
It was a big score.
Yeah.
And there has been some criticism of the game, not so much what you guys produced, because you're an outstanding football team and it was exciting to watch, but it wasn't an even contest. There's been a suggestion that they may go with 1 game less next year. Do you want to make a pitch for the women's game to stay?
Yeah, definitely. I think they've got to take the women's game. Like it's the biggest area that the NRL can grow in. I think obviously probably change the game. I think no one really expected that result. Like we didn't expect that result. So whether we get to play the Kiwis over there or take a State of Origin game or an NRLW game, I don't know how they'd do that, but I think we've got to be there. I think it really grew our game over there, and everyone really, I think, loved it, loved having us over there for the week. So I think we definitely need to be there. It's just how they do it. I think they just need to revise.
What's it like in camp? Do you fly over business class?
Yeah, so we got business class with Fiji Airways over there, which was really cool. Everyone was really excited for that flight.
You get your own room?
No, we share rooms this
Okay.
time over in Vegas. I had Koenig as my roommate, which
Right.
was interesting. But
Yeah.
and then Kent
So
was
that's
really
Olivia. She's our Dalium winner.
yeah. And then Kent was pretty cruisy over there, I think, because of the travel, and you're only there for a week. And then you've travelled like 24 hours or so. So we trained a couple times over there, but they let us get a fair bit of downtime to have a look around Vegas. And
We should talk about Olivia just for a sec, because obviously she was the centre of controversy when she was left out of the team after winning the Dally M. What was the feeling amongst the girls when that happened? Was that a surprise to everyone?
Yeah, I think it was. I can't speak for everyone, but I think a lot of girls were quite shocked by it. Obviously, she had an unreal season. She won the Dally M. She was the incumbent back rower as well. But they decided to go a different route for Pacific Champs. But I think she handled it really well. Like, she was obviously through the media a lot. And I think the disappointing thing for her was that like people were then questioning her character. And she's like the best person like you could have in your team. Like, so I think that was probably the hardest thing, especially like being good friends with her. But I think her character was shown in how she dealt with it during being missing out on Pacific Champs, and then how she came back in for Vegas as well.
Another controversial thing was that she was asked to present the jumpers to the girls, and you're in the inner circle there, and hopefully you can share what happened. Did she end up presenting the jumpers?
No. So we kind of get left out a bit of the details on. They kind of always try to keep the jersey presentations a bit of a surprise. So we didn't really know any of the details until it sort of all got into the media. But no, she never did. I think there was a few girls asked, but no, they didn't. The girls in our extended squad that had missed out on being in the 17 presented our jerseys for that game.
So let's talk about, you moved back to Tweed. Dad was a Bilamble Jet. That's important, isn't it?
Yeah, it is important. He played a lot of footy out at Bilamble. And then moving up there, I played for Bilamble with my little brother. So Bilamble was a big part of our family growing up, and my dad had played there, my uncle had played there, and a lot of his friends had all played for Bilamble. So it's a big part of who we are as a family, and a lot of good times out at Bilamble.
And Dad was a very good footballer too.
Yeah, he was a very good footballer. So I've watched some games. He loved footy. He was a big footy head. But he also liked to party and whatnot too. So
you kick off at Tweed. You play for Bilamble. You kick off at Tweed Heads. In what competition was that?
I think it was just the Brisbane competition at that time. It was the year after NRLW started, so BMD wasn't a thing yet. It was more Brisbane, then Burleigh, Ipswich, and Tweed.
So it's a feeder comp.
Yeah. Sorta. Yeah. But it wasn't really set up.
Right.
Completely at that stage.
It's a way for you to be identified.
Yeah. So Seagulls only started, had their first women's team in 2019. So there wasn't really a pathway before that for around that area. So as soon as Seagulls got a team, I went and played for them, and a lot of local girls did too. And then we're pretty much in the system from then. And
then you advanced to the Broncos in 2019.
Yeah.
And you were probably not expecting to get a game, but I think you played every game in the first season or second season of NRLW.
Yeah, so it was the second season of NRLW, 2019. I think when I was signed, I was pretty much just told I'd probably be back up for everything, which I was sweet with. I was just so happy to be there. And then had the preseason, and then I got my debut in round 1, which was really exciting.
And held your position and won a comp.
Yeah. So I was just a bench utility that year, but I was just kind of happy to get on the field whenever I could. And each week I sort of didn't know if I was playing until like closer to game day. But and then I got to hold my position for the grand final, which was it was all pretty crazy, all surreal at the time.
So prior to that, as a young girl, when you're playing, did you have to have that sabbatical like all the other girls did when they reached about 12 or 13?
Yeah. So I played right through to under 12s, and then you can't play anymore. And then like
Tell us why you can't play it. Can they play now or it's changed?
Yeah, so they can't play with the boys after 12s now, but they have all girls competitions from onwards. So
Right.
after under 12s now, there's you just go into a girls only competition. But yeah, at the time there wasn't any of that. So that was it. You just play footy and then you don't, until there was some women's competitions, but you couldn't play a lot of them until you're actually 18. So you kind of just don't play footy for 6 years.
So what was it like playing with the boys?
Yeah, it was sweet. Like, I don't know, I was sort of a bit of a tomboy growing up, I guess. So I was always hanging around the boys, and obviously growing up with brothers and cousins. And so, yeah, it was good fun. Yeah.
You were lucky that during that time that the competition ended for you, that you went into touch footy and excelled at that.
Yeah, so I played heaps of sports growing up. Played soccer, did nippers, netball. But, yeah, I always loved touch, especially once I couldn't play footy. I played lots of touch growing up, and went into all the pathways for touch, and which was really good, I think, while there was no footy for me, and then it made the transition back into footy a lot easier.
Brisbane 2020, you win again?
Yeah.
What's it like?
Yeah, it's really cool. I think 2020 was different again. I think 2019 I was just so happy to be there and along for the ride, and then I think 2020 I had more of a spot in the team. I was playing in the halves, and so that was a whole different experience again as well. And yeah, I think that was the COVID year, so that was a bit different as well. Like, we were having chartered flights, so we win the premiership and we're getting a charter flight back to Brisbane in the same night. But yeah.
Do the girls celebrate?
Yes, yeah.
Like hard?
Yeah, that night we were just back at the club. We had our own little where we were across the road from the big facility up there. So yeah, we had our own little. We couldn't go anywhere. It was COVID, so we just stayed at the club, which was good because everyone stays together, and yeah, it was good fun.
So another couple more seasons at the Broncos, and then you find your way to the Roosters.
Yeah.
What made you want to change?
A few different things, really. I think Stranger was a big part of it. Just speaking to him and how he saw me fitting into the team and how he wanted me to play. And I think just also wanting to learn from him was a big pull. And then, yeah, I think a few other different things. I think Stranger would have been the main pull. He was the main pull for me. But then I think when I came down and went around the club, just seeing how happy everyone was at the club, everyone was so welcoming. You walk past anyone, they don't even know who you are, but they're saying hello wherever you go. It was just really cool. I think it was going to be a very different opportunity for me. I'd been sort of in my comfort zone at Brisbane, close to home. So I think being able to move away and try something different. And I didn't really know many of the girls either, but yeah, it's all worked out really well.
So I mentioned 2019, you win the comp in your first year, and you mentioned Dad before. Dad's passed away now, but in 2019, you had the joy of sharing that win with him. There's a beautiful photo of you and Dad in Broncos jumpers that day. What was that like?
Yeah, I think looking back on it, it's probably even more special now that my dad and my brother both got to watch me win a premiership. I think because they were both such a big part of me playing footy. So I think that makes that day even more special now. And yeah, my dad's he was a big West supporter, so Tigers as well. So he would give it to me about playing for the Broncos. But yeah, I spoke to him that morning. He's like, "Oh, I've got a Broncos shirt." And I was like, "You are not wearing that." And I remember walking over to him after the game, and he had already taken the shirt off, had a different shirt on. I was like, "You've got to put that shirt on so we can get another photo." But yeah, it's really good to look back on now.
So soon after your premiership win in 2019, Dad passed away. And then soon after that, your brother tragically passed away. It must have been a very tough time for you.
Yeah, definitely. I think you kind of on top of the world, and then your whole life sort of flips upside down, and like I lost half my family within 3 weeks. So yeah, it was definitely you can't really put it into words. It's I think still is hard, but I have my older brother and my mum and my 2 younger siblings as well that, we sort of just clinged on to each other and, yeah.
You think about them every time you play?
Yeah. I think especially my dad and my brother, like growing up, my brother played footy too, so we were the biggest like footy heads growing up. Just loved it. We'd always play in the front yard and every afternoon after school. And Dad was, I think, because he loved footy too, he was always, taking us to local A grade on the weekend, taking us to our training. So I think footy's like a really nice way for me to, I guess, keep their memory alive as well, because that was how, like, I guess what we bonded over a lot, and they both loved it too.
And do you feel like they're with you sometimes when you're playing?
Yeah, definitely. I think like they'd love watching me now. I know when I told my brother I was making my debut, he was stoked. He's like, I'm coming at every game, like flying down. And yeah, my dad as well. I remember the grand final week in 2019, the team had, and I was a bench utility on the bench. I didn't really know, like, utilities can change all the time if I was going to play. And as soon as like I spoke to him after, like we were playing in the final, I was like, I've booked my flights. I was like, I didn't even know I'm going to be in the team this week, Dad. Like, just wait a few days, but it was too late. So yeah, I think I know they'd be so happy watching me now and proud. And I think I always try to take them out on the field with me, and just in moments like, and big moments, like just think of them, because I know they'd love watching it.
What helped get you through that tough time?
I think definitely playing footy. I think that was a good outlet for me, and just being around the girls all the time. I had a lot of good mates at the time that helped me through it as well, just like by being there for me, and obviously my family too. I think I've got a really close-knit family, so we're all there like for each other as well, and I've got a little brother and sister. I think they were, I think, the biggest thing for our whole family to help us.
Well, I think you're amazing. I think people will be inspired by your story. So congratulations on that.
Thanks.
Let's talk a little bit about the game now. Where do you think it's headed, the women's game? Can we see a time where every NRL team will have a women's team? Yeah,
definitely. I don't think it's too far away. I think we sort of speak about it a bit, would rather the teams we have now to be professional and then to expand on that. I think because to make the game better, we need to be full-time professionals. So I think we've got 12 teams this year. If we can focus on probably getting the teams we've already got professional in the next CBA, and then build on expanding. Because to be professional too, we've got squads of 24 at the moment. The longer the season, we need more players. Like, I know at one point we were struggling to name 17 players from our 24 last year. So I think with a longer season again this year, you need more players, you need bigger squads. So, and then, slowly grow the competition, the teams from there.
What's the undercarriage like? What are the young girls like that are coming through now? Are they as good as or better? Oh,
they're way better than us. Like, I watch our Lisa Fiola team at the Roosters, and they're just guns. They're so good. Like, so it's actually really exciting to see that they're going to all put us out of jobs real quickly once they come through.
And is that because of the touch footy that they play as well, and the Oz tag? Are they skilled?
Yeah, I think I think like players that grow up playing lots of different sports obviously helps, but I think also they've played footy their whole lives. They haven't had to stop like a lot of us did. So I guess they're just kind of like now how the boys have always come through and played. So their skill levels are freakish for 17-year-olds.
Are we going to see a day where men's and women's pay are equal?
Yeah, I think that's always the goal. Whether it happens or not, we'd never know. I think we'd just probably like to aim for being professional at the moment, like full time, and then I think that's always the end goal, but whether we get there or not.
So women's state of origin, you've played in 8 games, I think, and scored 5 or 6 tries. You're a try-scoring machine, Taz. That is probably the pinnacle of the women's game, the best versus the best. What are those battles like?
Yeah, it's definitely the pinnacle of our game. It's definitely the hardest games we play, and I think being able to play with the best players and then also against the best players, yeah, it's always really physical and a lot of skill on show. But I think, yeah, they're the best games to be a part of. Everyone soaks up the whole week, and I think getting to play with people you don't get to play with much, like now getting to play with Tamika and Robbo, like I don't get to play with them much anymore. I think, yeah, it's always really exciting.
Team bonding. We hear about Origin and the men's bonding and camps and all that sort of stuff. What do the girls get up to?
Yeah, look, well, we only have 1 week camp, so the boys get 10 days. So they sort of get a bit of time to recover. So we don't get to bond throughout, early in the camp, but we do after.
So you know how to celebrate, eh?
Yeah. I think it's been good the last couple of years because we've had the last game up in Townsville. So it's been a big night at the Mad Cow after.
So there was more controversy a few years ago with Origin. We had 2 games a series. Tell us about the series where you won a game each and what it felt like to lift the shield again.
Yeah, I think going into the series, we all knew like it was a silly idea and we couldn't believe they'd done it. Like you have 1 or you have 3. And we were obviously pushing for 3 and they gave us 2. But I think it worked out well for us because we won the first one and then New South Wales won the second. So then Queensland won on points aggregate. That's what they went off. So I think in the long run it worked out well because they were like, well, we can't do that again. And we got our 3-game series the following year. They only kept that for 1 year. So yeah, it was a bittersweet moment, I think, like after, they got a penalty try to win the game with a couple minutes to go. And we're standing behind the goalpost and we're like, so do we win? Do we not win? Like we're trying to do the maths on the run. Yeah. So it was a bittersweet, like right at the end. But then once you get to lift up the shield and that, it was fun.
So again, celebration.
Yeah.
Where'd you go?
We went to the Mad Cow that year.
Mad Cow.
So that was good fun.
Did you take the trophy with you?
We did that year. Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. We took the shield with us and got around a bit at the Mad Cow. And
Were the Blues there?
Yeah, so then it was good because then they were sort of happy too because they won that game even though they didn't win the series. So, yeah, we always end up still, I think because we're all just such good friends off the field as well, we all end up partying together anyway. So, I think, we always when we won, we went straight out in our playing kit. Bit gross, but we didn't really care. It was the Mad Cow, and then the New South Wales girls came like an hour or 2 later, and we had the shield there, and they made us keep it back at the hotel last year after that.
So your coach at the Roosters, John Strange, has just been appointed NRLW New South Wales Blues coach.
Yeah.
So he's going to be coaching against you.
He is.
What are you expecting?
I don't know, to be honest. I think, it's going to be interesting, I think, especially because it's during pre-season as well. But, look, he's a very good coach and he deserves to be able to be in this arena and coach it. So I'm excited for him, not so much excited for me, but that's all right. It's presents us with a new challenge as well. So
did he reach out to you before it was announced that he had the job and let you know what was happening?
Yeah. He spoke to me before he took the job, seeing if I'd care or not. And obviously I said I didn't, like, go for it. I think it's a good opportunity for him and for all the New South Wales girls too. I'm sure they'll learn a lot from him. But I think it just makes it a little bit harder for us, but we'll be right.
If he's trying to win premierships with the Roosters, he's probably also wanting the girls to go a bit easy on you, isn't he?
Yeah, I know. He's going to be in a funny position, I think, but that's for him to figure out. I think he's coached against his own daughter before too, so I think he's just used to being in different positions, awkward positions.
So we talk about elite players, and obviously the NRLW is the premier competition in the world. Are we going to see more international players want to come and play in our competition?
Yeah, definitely. I think so. I think there's already a few girls from England come over, and I think they'll probably keep coming now as well, as especially as we get more pay in that too. And then I think we've got a lot of sevens girls come over the last few years, and I think now without them being in the Commonwealth Games too, they've only got like one major competition every 4 years. I know they've got the World Series every year, but I think it's probably a lot more enticing for them to come now.
And the Kiwis are back too.
Yeah.
In the NRLW.
Yeah.
Will they be strong next year?
Yeah, definitely. I think a lot of girls that had to relocate over to Australia have gone back to New Zealand and the Warriors. So it's really exciting for a lot of the young Kiwi girls coming through that live in New Zealand, having a full pathway there now and it not being so far out of reach for them. And then obviously the girls who were already in the NRLW that get to go home and play for the Warriors.
We mentioned recruiting players to the NRLW. Can you see Australian rugby women wanting to come and have more of a crack at the league?
Yeah, I think we've got a lot of the New Zealand girls over, but not so much the Australian girls. But I think, I hope they do, and I hope they come over. I think it'll make the competition better. They're all great athletes as well, so I hope they do, especially over the next few years.
I guess one of their great hooks is the Olympic Games, to be able to play in the Olympics. Flag footy's coming up in the Olympics, I think the next games. Is that something that you would consider playing?
Nah, I don't think so, even though it's at the Olympics. But, yeah, I've seen like they have it in school competitions and stuff now, so... Yeah, people seem to be getting around the flag football. I don't even really know what it is, apart from NFL with tags.
Would it be similar? It'd be similar to OzTag, I suppose. Or
Yeah, I don't really know.
We better do some research, Taz. Yeah. Let's talk about some of the girls that have come before you. When we talk about rugby league, we talk about Langlands and Churchill and Beats and all these people. In the women's game, I'm not familiar with the people who dug the well. Do you know many of the ladies that played before you that helped put the game on the map? Obviously, I know Tasha Gale and Karen Murphy and that, but is there a host of well-known women that dug the well?
Yeah, definitely. I think obviously those girls like Tasha Gale and Murph did a lot, and like Jo Barrett. But I think for me, I've seen more of the girls that had just gone that got the NRLW started, like Rona Peters and Steph Hancock and even Ali then and like Karina Brown. I think those girls did a lot to get the NRL going. And I think in rep camps especially, we do a lot to just learn about the history and those players that helped us get to where we were and I guess like pave the way.
The girls like talking, they like chatter. Is there any expectations of what your salary cap may go to at the next CBA? Has any of the girls spoken about it?
No one really knows. Like it's such a big unknown. I think everyone just hopes it goes full time from 2028. I think that's when the new CBA comes in. So no one's really spoken about what the salary cap, more just getting it full time for everyone.
I guess in a way we're still at the starting line, aren't we? I mean, when the comp started in 2018, I think they only played 3 or 4 games, didn't they?
Yeah.
And it's growing. And last year you would have played 9 games.
Yeah.
Next year it's going to be more.
Yeah.
So what do you do in the downtime? The comp, I don't think, started till May last year. What do you do when's pre-season start and when do you kick off?
Well, every other year we've had either Harvey Norman in New South Wales or BMD in Queensland. So you'd go back and be in pre-season from like December with your Queensland or New South Wales Cup team, and you'd play that and then roll straight into Origin and then straight into NRLW. So it was a full year. This year's the first year for Queensland that they don't have the BMD. They're running it the same as Harvey Norman now as a full feeder club for NRLW. So it's a bit of it's a real weird one. I think everyone's sort of learning on the way, but a lot of clubs run optional sessions a couple times a week to still have us training and getting fit, and we call it pre-season. So you kind of just run for 6 months, which isn't that fun.
So your family live at Tweed Heads. You've got family on the Central Coast. When you're playing for the Roosters, you're living in Sydney. So you're on the move pretty much all year round at 3 different destinations. Yeah,
I'm sort of all over the place. It's nice after the season. I love going home for a few months and spending time with obviously my little brother and sister back at home in Tweed, and I love living up there. It's the best place in the world, I reckon. And so it's always nice to go back there and switch off for a bit, and then I've got family on the Central Coast too, so stay there for a little bit and then down in Sydney.
How big can you see the NRLW getting? Can you see packed stadiums and
Yeah, definitely. I think obviously Origin's been huge last year, and I think that'll be bigger again this year. And I think the issue with NRLW at the moment with crowd attendance is probably the times they play us. Like, a lot of the games are at 11 a.m. on a Saturday morning. Like, kids' sports are on Saturday mornings, so you can't really expect anyone to be going to games at 11 a.m. on a Saturday morning. So I think when we get better scheduling times, which is obviously hard with the men's games as well, but when they try and, I think, work around that a bit more, we'll be able to see more people at the game. And obviously the more we play, the more people watch it and get to follow along. So I think the longer the season is as well, it's going to help.
Now, your profile's booming. I mean, you're the best player in the world and people now know who you are. What's it like being recognised by people, and what's it like signing autographs for young girls?
Yeah, I think it's very different, especially over the last couple of years. But I think it just takes you back to when you were a kid, and I think we always used to idolise NRL players growing up. So I think it's definitely different being on the other end of it. But yeah,
sponsorship's another thing that's going to grow in the women's game because females. Marketing executives want to get involved with female athletes, so it's changing all the time. Can you see girls getting great endorsements going forward?
Yeah, for sure. I think a few of them already do. They use their profile really well, and I think that's how. I think some girls probably make most of their money is through that way, and I think that's only going to get bigger as well. I think there's a real market for it with female athletes, so I think that space will keep growing.
Let's talk about a couple of the star players in your era. Ali Brigginshaw, who's a stalwart of the game and been around a long time. How incredible is she?
Yeah, I think to still be able to play at the level she does, and she's done it for so long now, it's pretty amazing, and to keep evolving as well. I don't know how she's done it really.
Has she been a good support and advisor to you throughout your early days?
Yeah, definitely. I think obviously coming through Broncos as well, she was there, and playing Queensland and Jillaroo, she was always there, and just made the transition for me easy to come in and always helped me out.
What other girls impress you as being elite? Who are the girls that you really look up to?
I think Tamika obviously has to be up there. She's unreal, I think, how she plays, but I think she's a real student of the game too, like loves to learn about it, and always watching other games and that too. So I think Meeks is definitely up there, and I think Izzy Kelly, just the way she trains, that's probably what impresses me most. Robbo as well, probably the same as Izzy, and there's a lot.
How's your game evolved? I mean, who would you credit for helping you become a game manager? Obviously, in that test match the other week, you had control of the game from the get-go and were involved in most of the tries. Where do you get that from?
Strangey, to be honest. I think when I first went to the Roosters, I was a 5'8" and had no idea how to manage a game. I just liked playing whatever was there, and then it took a little while for me to get used to how they play at the Roosters. It was very different from what I'd come from, but I think once I started to learn that and understand my role more and everyone else's role in the team, it just... I think he really helped develop my game in lots of different areas. And then, obviously this year transitioning to halfback was his work with me. I learn a lot, especially in the off season. He had me watching a game a week in the NRL, which was good. And then just like paying attention a lot to like Nathan Cleary and Jerome Hughes and players like that and what they do, and I think just speaking to Strangey a lot about it and learning that way.
You've done some work with Cooper Cronk at the Roosters?
Yeah.
What was that like?
Yeah, it was really cool. I think obviously watching him play growing up, it was a bit of a pinch me moment, but he's just learning off him. Like, he's really detailed and just able to help me with what I need to learn as well, not like complicating things. He was, really good to learn off.
You've also done some training with the Roosters first grade men's team. What's that like?
Yeah, that was pretty intense. Just like the whole days, like they're in there all day. They different meetings, like spine meetings and edge meetings. And then it was really cool. I did a couple days in a row, so it was really cool to just see how their week went into a game. Obviously, they've got so much time. They're in there all day, all week. So, yeah, it was really cool to see how they did things.
And how do the guys welcome you at a training session?
Yeah, they were all really, really nice. Obviously, it was a bit daunting at the start, but yeah, they were all really welcoming and really nice.
What does Tarryn Aiken do for downtime?
Downtime. I love the beach. Love going swimming at the beach. I don't know. Don't get a whole lot of downtime.
What do you think of Sydney? I mean, you're up there in Tweedhead's Gold Coast most of the time.
Yeah.
Is it a rat race for you, or you find it okay?
Yeah, it is. It's busy, but I quite like the eastern suburbs, living around there. That was probably one of the biggest things I was worried about moving to the Roosters, was living in Sydney, especially coming from like Tweed and Kirra, very different lifestyles. But yeah, I actually really enjoy it in Sydney, and especially like still being able to live near the beach. And we saw that it's good, like we talked about it with the girls, we don't go outside of our little bubble, like where most of us live at Coogee or Maroubra, and then we go into training and back to the beach and home. So yeah.
Now, I noticed a few of the girls are nesting with a few of the NRL players. There's relationships between the men and the women. Can you rattle off a few names of girls that have hooked up with guys, or guys that are with the girls?
Yeah, I know. There's a few going around
it's
at the
happening,
moment.
isn't it?
Yeah, I think Jess is all loved up, obviously, with Tommy. Yeah.
There's a couple of others, isn't there?
Yeah.
Well, Millie.
Oh, yeah, Millie's having a baby.
Yeah.
Yeah, which is exciting.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I was going to ask you about pregnancy and the women's game, because obviously this is not my field of expertise, by the way, but obviously women fall pregnant, and because it's a contact sport, or it's a sport, they have to take time off. What's the feeling amongst the girls about someone who has to take that time off and possibly miss a season? I know it's unfortunate and we don't time these things, but are the women comfortable with that, or do some feel a little bit awkward about it?
I think from my experience, obviously, like with Millie, everyone was just so happy for Millie because, she's always wanted to be a mum and she's going to be a great mum. So I think, obviously, we're going to miss her on the field. Like, she's such a great player, but I think everyone was just really happy for her because that's all, like, what she wants to do. And so I think everyone's just comfortable with it. I think it's just a part of our lives.
And many of the girls' mums, there'd be a few, wouldn't there?
Yeah, there's a few, like obviously Corby. She's come back a couple times now. So I think they obviously have to juggle it, and I don't know how they do it, but they do it.
And what's it like seeing children of teammates in a dressing room after a game?
Yeah, it's good. I feel like they just light it up. Obviously, we had Semi there last year, and her young kids coming in. I think they just really like make it a bit more lighthearted in there, and everyone enjoys having all the little kids run around.
So how old are you now?
25.
You had to think about that.
I did.
Yeah. So how many more years do you think you'd like to play for?
Maybe early 30s probably. Yeah, I'd like to get that far.
Like 35, 36?
Oh, no. I said early 30s, like 31, 32.
Is children something that you thought about or would think about?
Yeah, I think, look, I don't know if I'd ever come back, so I reckon for me it'd have to be after I finish playing. I think, everyone's sort of different. I think people, obviously Corbs has done it and Semi Bremner, and they come back and they're just as fit as they were before. So I think everyone's sort of different in what they want.
Do the girls talk about it much, like wanting to have kids and that?
Yeah, everyone. Yeah, I think it's just like a normal part of our lives. So everyone sort of talks about it, and they're like, "Oh, when are we going to have kids?" So everyone's sort of like, "Do we do it now, after footy?" Yeah.
Very interesting, Taz. Now listen, life after footy for you? What are your plans? Will you coach?
Don't know. I don't know if I could coach. I've Keely's coaching now, Keely Davis with Tasha Gale, so I've helped her out a little bit. But more so just like the in and out that she has to do every week and seeing it. I'm like, oh, it'd be really interesting. I just don't know if I'd do it.
Would you like to stay involved with the game?
Yeah, definitely. I don't know what role exactly yet, but I'd love to work in footy after I finish playing.
Now you're studying at university. Tell us what you're studying.
Well, I'm not anymore,
Right.
but I was. I did my honours in psychology. So.
And what got you interested in that?
I don't really know, to be honest. I think I never really knew what I wanted to study in high school, but I knew I wanted to go to uni. And then my older brother did psychology, and I think just speaking to him, and I sort of always had an interest in like mental health and that sort of area. So yeah, once I started doing exercise science and psychology, and I lasted one semester with exercise science and just loved the psych subjects.
Can you quickly preview this year's NRLW for us? Who are the teams to beat this year?
You can't go past Broncos. Obviously, they were so strong last year, and now they've got Tamika there too. I think they'll be right up there. I think everyone will be it'll be a strong competition across the park. I think Cronulla as well. They've got some good recruits, and they already had a really strong squad. It'll be exciting to see the Warriors and Bulldogs. They've both recruited well. So yeah, I think there'll be some strong teams.
What are some of your immediate goals with your goal setting? What do you want to do? Keep winning trophies, I suppose.
Yeah, definitely. I think straight after the year, it was sort of like went on a little holiday in that, and it was like, all right, how do we just sort of do that all over again? It was obviously a good year, so I think I just kind of like to set my goals year by year. So it was kind of just do it again.
Is there a game that sticks in your mind that was your best game, your perfect game? Has there ever been a game?
I don't think there's ever like a perfect game.
No.
Even the grand final, I think we had a perfect half and a nightmare of a second half and just held on. So not really, but maybe a perfect half.
You're living the dream. You're enjoying what you're doing.
Yeah, I love it. Really living the dream.
Well, you're an incredibly resilient and tough woman. It's been an amazing story, and thank you for sharing that with us today. Tarryn Aiken, thanks for joining us on Chiming In.
No worries. Thanks for having me.
Good on you, Taz.